Hello everybody. Another video here. This video it's gonna be titled "The Twin Flame: The Importance of the Inner Peace and what it's achieved into it. What is the most important part?" Probably this is gonna be the really for me the most important video that I ever made. That is the inner work that has been done for a lot of years and comes to this point of the inner peace and soul, because that's what you're striving for. You're striving for that inner peace where you stop the wants, the needs, and you begin to unite the parts inside of it. You probably at this point you watched the two videos. That it's the Battle of the Egos, Part 1 and Part 2. I really suggest you, if you haven't watched them, watch them before you watch this video, because this video following those two videos. And in the Battle of the Egos, you're actually breaking everything in parts. During the Battle of the Egos between the two of them, the two of the twin flames, you're also breaking up the parts of inside of you. You're tearing out those parts into pieces. And now when you want to find your inner peace, you're actually going to begin to understand the real part of union begins within you. You can't really unite with something that you don't understand. And this is the part of the twin flames. It's the realization that you are a twin flame, and now you have to work inside of yourself about to put the pieces back together. But to put it pieces back together, now you're putting the pieces back together for you inside of you internally, because the sides that were broken, your twin flame broke the ego apart. You broke so this the battle of the egos broke everything inside of you. And this video, it's going to be a very crucial, very important to understand this inner peace, because that inner peace is the part when you strive to reach, that is your goal. And that inner peace, now it's going to operate from all the way up, it's going to operate down into the physical level. This is the part where the soul reaches its full potential, and now with that soul inner peace, you will gain everything that's gonna come down. You're learning this, the battle of the egos. You're learning how everything gets torn apart. This is a quote that I actually posted on Battle of the Egos. I'm gonna read it again. The ego is very bad quality. Ego sees everything as separate. It sees everything as dual. The duality that we were talking about, you must remove this ego and see only unity. Think only of unity. Think only of the basis of everything. So you begin to unite the things that they're duality inside of you. That is going to be the things about the bad and the good. The bad will come, the good will come. They're going to bring what? Experience. So guess what? United with one word, which is experience. You're going to bring the light and the darkness. It's going to be like, okay, it's a day and night. But guess what? There's a 24 hours. It's just another day. And you're going to keep uniting things inside of you. Some of the things that you're going to unite, you're going to be amazed how the things will come up. I wrote a post later on, I'm going to read it to you. But that part of unity is you begin to understand. You putting yourself together, but now when you put yourself together, you put yourself differently. This time you're not programmed by nobody. There is no mother or father or grandparents or anybody that teaching you how to put yourself together. This time the soul inside of you, puts you together the way you should be. Simply because the ego right now it's been torn apart. Now everything that you have, it's shattered in pieces. Now those pieces are coming together in unification of your new self. And this unification of your new self begin of that inner peace. You to do everything with peace, to have the patience, not to have the obligations, because that inner peace will lead you to something very important, the understanding. So, uh, what's going on there? Um, Before, as you lift as the ego, you wanted to know what you're going to do on the next day, what's coming up, so you will know how to react. You know what kind of actions you to perform in order you to get to the results that you're striving into. This is how the material world works. This is how everything, company, business, politicians, everything works on that way. They need to know what's coming up in order they can make measurements or countermeasures or whatever the situation might be. Now, when you're building yourself, your new self doesn't care anymore about this part. When you're beginning to unite, you're gonna be unite yourself within the universe. And when that comes in, the things that you wanted to know now, like it or not, you are part of the unknown, the part that anymore there is no programming. There is no the part of anybody to tell you, hey, this is who you are, that's what you need to do. Uh, Here it's the part that right now the soul tells you, hey, you're a soul. You need to understand who you are, and you can find your own powers. You can find yourself into the universe. So what I wrote is that behind the shadow of the unknown is the universe that lives in you. Fear is the shadow. Truth is the universe. The universe. The question in your life is, where are you living? A lot of the people in the twin flames, they living into the fear, to the unknown. They get stopped in that part, and that part of the universe, it's to understand that you're part of the universe. And a lot of the people, they think like, well, I'm just a little tiny tiny thing that lives on this rock called Earth, and that's it. Compared to you see yourself like, hi, I'm a big soul. I decided to come here. I decided to do big things on this beautiful planet Earth, and I live in a solar system, but that it's part of the Milky Way. But we are part of this universe, and it's a beautiful universe. Now that is a completely different approach, how you see yourself. Because if you see yourself that small in the beginning, you won't be able to see the big, huge picture that actually you are part of the universe. The other part of the universe inside of you, it's actually in your brain. There is a what's called mirroring neurons, and if you look at it, the way they're connected, the way they are firing, they're looking like the stars. They line up within the galaxy and the galaxies itself, how they are into it. It's so funny how the microcosmos it's inside the microcosmos inside of you, and how all this it's all correlated. Put it together, but the part of this is the universe is unknown. I mean, the universe is so huge. You can't know anything about the universe, all the stars, where they are and how they are. It's just the beautiful the part is the universe is unknown. We don't know what tomorrow the universe might bring. I mean, maybe tomorrow there could be a black hole next door in Jupiter, and guess what? The next 10 years we're going to be sucked into it. Guess what? There's nothing you can do. But if you know that you're part of the universe, you know you're going to be transferred to something else. That's how the life gives. Everything, the whole energy, just doesn't get loose. All it does is transfer from one way to another. And this is what we are. We are this part of this energy that floats in the universe. So the union inside of you begin at the end of the duality. And I brought the infinity sign here because the infinity sign, it's the part of the duality. If you look at it here, we are moving to the one side, then moving to the other, going to the one, going to the other, until we're reaching the point of the inner peace that's actually it's in the middle. And this has come from a quote that in ancient India and Tibet, it represents perfection, dualism, and unity between male and the female. That is the part that you constantly have those battles of the egos, up and down, go on and on and on and on, trying to gain the control, trying to gain the part of, um, if you're a female, you're trying to get with your intuition, you're trying to thinking what the man can do, and you're predicting his actions, and you know how to work on it. As a male, you have the physical force, the physical power, and you want to force your own rules over the female. And over time, that part of the battle of the egos, it moves from the one way to another, one way to another. And this is why in the family, you have a good moments, bad moments, good moments, bad moments, and you're wondering when that's gonna stop. The only way that stops is when you stop right here in the middle. The part when you achieve the inner peace. The inner peace, and you understand how this operates, but you have to learn to react it with understanding and the soul perspective. So how the soul are? You will feel this part inside of you, because your true self is not this body, it's not the heart, it's not the mind, it's actually this part of you as a soul. And when you understanding this part, you look at to finally have this inner peace inside of your soul. And for the twin flames, that's actually it's their inner work that needs to be done to find that peace in the soul, because the peace in the soul is very important for the twin flames, because that way that inner peace will help them to achieve the stage that they need to move of it. It's the understanding, and when they have the understanding, they are capable of sustain the partnership. They are capable of doing their mission. Without this inner peace, there is no understanding. And if there is no understanding, during the work of the mission, they're always gonna be the part is, you should have done this, you should have done that. You didn't listen to me when I was talking to you. It's ego. Now with understanding, it's like, okay, we saw this. Let's learn from the experience as a souls. Let's figure this out. Let's make an adjustment, and let's evolve. But with peace, with love, not with the old way. It's like the male, it's bad. Turn around the corner, goes over there and beating himself to death. I should have forced her to do this. I should have been done the right stuff. I know she's a twin flame. I'm not a twin flame, but we screwed up. And guess what? Some of the twin flames who prematurely come into a union, they don't have reached the level of the inner peace. They still have the battle of the egos inside of them, and that's why some of the twin flames in premature union I've been talking to, they haven't achieved that level of inner peace. Your inner peace is the most important part in the soul that you strive to achieve, and that's what you need your twin flame for it. That's what you strive for it. But you can't get this inner peace with your twin flame until you don't reach the inner peace yourself. This is the inner work that you keep in doing. This is your final stage, that you finally have the peace within the soul, and now you're working to build the rest of the part in you, but now you're building it with understanding. You are a soul. Um, what did I wrote? I wrote, I live in the center, the place where the divine masculine is united with the divine feminine. The divine masculine and divine feminine, those are the two energies out there in the world. Um, People can have different combination. There could be a masculine body with masculine energy, masculine body with feminine energy, and the other side could be feminine body with feminine energy and feminine body with masculine energy. And during the ignition, you exchange that, and you need to understand that process of exchange is you to learn both sides. And when you learn the both sides, you finally, when you unite them, when you bring those parts in union inside of yourself, you begin to be a complete. You begin to be a ready for actually union with another soul who understands this part. The place where I stop fighting my ego and my soul, but unite them to gain the understanding. And that is the part you gain the understanding. You climbing up. And when you're climbing up of the realizations, and you climbing up to evolve more, you that part with the evolving, you gain the understanding of why you're here, what happened to this point, what's going on, and what you need to do going on. There is no more this duality part inside of you. As you see, the picture actually shows up. It's not only one, but if you look at it in a perspective, there's so many of them, so many dualities that we are having here. The place where the duality way of life end, but exist in the inner peace. Here is the inner peace. Once you achieve that inner peace inside of you, you will begin to maintain it, kind of like not to be disturbed. Of course, there's gonna be some situations that your ego is gonna be triggered. You know, your human being could be triggered. Your physical parts could be triggered. There's so many things could be triggered, but deep inside of you, that inner peace inside of the soul, you're gonna be like, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll find another way. We can see another things. There is always a way. You already learned the inner part of understanding that not everything is permanent. The universe shifts all the time, and the situations and positions about life, they change all the time. And that's why you are a part of the unknown. You understand now this part of the unknown, that you can control all the situations and everything in life. Doesn't matter how hard you try to predict it, how you try to programming the situations. The things in life sometimes they don't work that way. They don't. They want to be steered by the universe, not steered by any ego part demanding and control, result-oriented personality. The place there is no more pain, suffering, abandonment, because that place coexists with care, healing, and self-love. Here's the part when you begin to build yourself. Now where there was a pain, there is a care, there is a healing. Now where there was a suffering, there is a self-love. Abandonment, there is a self-love on that position. You understand what the self-love is. This is the time when a lot of people have a problem with abandonment, when their mom abandoned them as a kid and they felt that the love is gone. that actually harms down the road. If that is a man, he will feel like the abandonment of the love inside of him. It's it's so strong. So that abandonment hurts him. Now he has to learn to have a self-love. If nobody loves you, you have to love yourself, and that's how the soul is teaching. But when you are on that middle point, on that inner piece of the duality, you find that part kind of very easy achievable. You have the inner peace. You don't have any more this suffering about that part of the abandonment inside of you. The place is the peace of the soul, where no more heaven or hell duality, but living in the state of love. That is the part when you stop dividing the heaven and the hell. That is like you want to try to separate the light and the dark, but the light and the dark, they coexist inside of the universe. So why you have this duality? Who wants that duality? And when you look at it on the way back, your ego wants that duality, because the ego it's all the time battling inside between your conscious and subconscious part of you, where your physical needs to be met. The part about me, instead of the we. The soul lives there in the center, in love with the universe, your connection to the divine. Yep. Now you begin to understand that your soul is part of the universe. You're part of the divine. And the more you understand this part, the bigger the peace becomes. The more easier it becomes. The more smile you have in you. And the more powerful you begin. Now you build in yourself with completely different knowledge. You build in yourself with completely different understanding. And now your inner system of you, the way you are, you actually embodying the soul. You put the soul in charge, not like before, the way it was as the egos, the body. For example, what you're going to do on this case, the sex actually is going to be replaced by intimacy. Before, the sex was working that when you have the physical part, that physical part is going to be turned from outside into the inside work, that you're going to have the internal part and you're going to have this satisfaction of yourself. But since that cannot be achievable, you only achieve the physical part of the outside, the body that comes in. Now you're going to replace this with an intimacy where the inner part becomes the beginning, and then the inner work, the inner part, the inner energy of the intimacy is going to be turned out into outward, which is going to become the physical part of the intimacy, which is a completely different. You overriding now your entire being with completely universal energy once you unite yourself. This is gonna be a very easy, quick job, because you know it. You always know it's something that you needed to do, and now you achieving it. You reprogramming yourself the way it was supposed to be, the way it was meant to be. You to be created, and that is the place where it all begin with love and be loved. You won't understand the inner side of it. That inner side when everything inside of you is love. Everything inside on that position, it came to this point, to this reaching point of the inner peace, that it's so powerful. It is like nobody can move you. Doesn't matter if whatever is going on right now out in the world. That inner peace is your inner peace. Of course, you're mindful of what's going on, but that inner peace and soul and still inside of you into it. And I already showed that picture on the battle of the ego, that memo that I wrote. The person you love and so is to stay there, not because you love them. Yep, it's not because you love them. There is a part of the inner peace that you will understand when you achieve the inner peace, that your twin flame came in and stayed inside of you. So to bring you close to God, to bring you close to the part of the inner peace, the inner understanding, to so you can achieve this part of yourself and become this different personality now, this higher self personality, build this incredible new person as who you are, and you understand that there was a divine job, there was a universal job that you did, but you did it this not by yourself. You did because your twin flame triggered you to go ahead, and they give you a part of themselves inside of you, and they are seeking for this part. But you also give a part to them, a part to them. They can go ahead and work with that part, so they can find the same part as you. But because your soul is the place it's meant to be for them, to be there by the universe. And that's the part of universe that we're striving for. Because right now the inner peace that you have will go ahead and give that understanding. And the understanding is going to lead you to this perfect partnership where even if you understand that something might fail, you have no fears. Even if it fails, it's part of learning. It's part of the experience. And you're gonna have no aggravation, no any hesitations or anything. But it's gonna be a learning experience. The other part of that really inner peace is that doesn't matter what's going on, there is always solution, and you and your twin flame can figure it out. You can find out, because right now you're looking at everything, 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 everything in your life as a soul, because right now you already embody the soul in full inside of you, because you walk, talk, act as a soul walking on earth. And that it's the one of the most beautiful part that you can do for yourself. Thank you so much for watching the video. Be loved.